Make sure you pay attention and take notes during this video. Types of accidents and how to handle them. So remember in the last video about chemical procedures and lab safety that we talked about how it is important to always add acid to water. So again, we're going to remind you that it is important to add the acid to the water, not the other way around, because you may end up with chemical burns. If an accident does occur, and they can happen, first of all, remain calm. Then report all accidents immediately to your teacher for cleanup. For prevention, please wash your hands after lab and make sure that you do not eat during lab to keep the chemicals away from your face and mouth. Also, make sure that you're always watching and helping your lab partners. The most common accident in the lab classroom is broken glass because we use glassware. Make sure that if you do break glass, that you stop where you are and assess the situation. Move away from the broken glass when safe, and report all cuts and the broken glass to your teacher. Never touch the broken glass with your bare hands. We have dustpans and brushes by the vent hood to help clean up the broken glass, and all broken glass must be put in the designated broken glass container. If there were chemicals involved, you also need to report that to your teacher to make sure those are disposed of safely. If there happens to be a time when you get a scrape or cut during a lab, make sure that you report this immediately to your teacher. First of all, you need to make sure that you watch your own scrape or cut so it doesn't get infected. Also, never touch anyone else's blood due to any blood-borne pathogens, so we need to be very careful. If there is a chemical spill, make sure that you know how to dispose of that chemical spill correctly. Most times you will tell your instructor and they will explain the correct disposal. We do have a chemical spill kit in the back in the orange tub that's basically like kitty litter, which will absorb and neutralize the chemicals. Make sure that you treat all the chemicals that we use in lab as dangerous and respect everyone during a lab. Also, alert your lab partners of the spill so they are aware of the situation and know what's going on around them. In lab, we will be using Bunsen burners, which will give us an open flame. When we are using them, make sure that you are careful to never reach over the exposed flame, and if you have long hair, always have it tied back. Also, when you are not using that Bunsen burner, turn it off. If for some reason you try to turn on your Bunsen burner and it doesn't light, make sure that you turn off the gas, let it clear before turning the gas on again and re-striking the flint. If there is a paper fire, make sure you place the paper into the sink and turn on the water to put the fire out. If there is a trash can fire, you must use the fire extinguisher. Always turn off the Bunsen burner when not in use. If you catch on fire or your clothing, make sure that you grab the fire blanket, wrap it tightly around yourself, and pat until the fire is out. After lab, you must clean up safely. Always follow the teacher's directions. For every lab, we will give you specific instructions on how to dispose of the chemicals that we use that day. Never put those chemicals back in the containers that they came in because that will ruin our stock chemicals. Return everything else back to the proper place, so basically make the lab look like it did before you started. Wash and dry all of the lab area. Also make sure that you wash your hands before leaving so that you do not get any chemicals in your mouth, on your face, or anywhere else.